Alright, Shalom. I'm the brother Tasiyat coming back with another video. First of foremost, I want to give all praises and the highest honor to Yahweh, Pashem Yahushai, Pashem Makakadash. Double honor to my elder apostles and teachers of Great Millstone. And peace and salutation to the sincere Akiam across the world who are spreading this knowledge and truth and sincerity. May the election be upon your households. Kan Shalom. So today I want to talk about the article concerning that the Dutch government want to apologize for the slavery, that happened in the past. Now the title reads, Dutch will apologize for slavery past in December. RTL News. So this is an article of November the 3rd, 2022. Now here you see on the picture, you see the National Slavery Monument in a park in Amsterdam. Okay, now after all these years, now they want to come up with the so-called apology. Meanwhile, we know that the scripture says that these Edomites, they are going to go into slavery for 1,000 years, and they're going to be punished 2,000 times harder than what they did unto us. So that alone should give you an insight of how worthless this apology actually is compared on the bigger scale, man. Okay, anyway, it reads, the Dutch government is poised to make a formal apology for slavery and set up 200 million fund for project aimed at raising awareness of the Netherlands' past as a slaving nation, RTL reported on Thursday evening. In addition, the cabinet will allocate 27 million to develop a museum about slavery, RTL said. In total, 9 government ministries are contributing to the project. Okay, the apology, which has not yet been officially confirmed, will be made in mid-December and is a direct response to recommendations made by a Home Affairs Ministry commission last year. Okay, so even the point that there has been multiple discussions about if an apology was even necessary or not, that alone shows you that these people, they don't care about you, okay? They don't care about you, they never will, okay? That's why their punishment is going to be so hard, So, and righteous even, man, okay? Because they have touched the apple of the eye of Yahweh, Pashem Yahushai, okay? They haven't just done this with any random nation, they have touched the chosen ones of the being that created everything that you see around us, that is to be praised, the Most High. So of everything that we see around us that is being created, these Edomites particularly, they have done so much harm unto us. Okay, so this apology won't make even the slightest bit good, Anyway, from there, let's go to 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. So it's righteous in the eyes of the Most High, that we want also trouble for them that troubled us. Okay, mainly these Edomites, but also all the other nations have had us, in captivity, man. They all had a hand in this. They all had a hand in enslaving us, the Ishmaelites, which are the Arabs, the Hamites, the so-called Africans, they had us in slavery also, man. But mainly the punishment, with the most horrific hardcore slavery is going to come upon these Edomites, these so-called white people. Okay, this is Revelation chapter 13, verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So did not these Edomites, lead us into captivity, into slavery, So they think that they got away with it, okay? Because like the scripture says, they think that the Most High is such a one as themselves. Like the Most High was down with them, during this period of slavery. Here it is, Psalms chapter 50, verse 21. These things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Let me start at verse 20. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother, thou slanderest thine own mother's son. Okay, so he slandered Jacob, the twin brother, which is our forefather. These things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such a one as thyself. So they thought, these Edomites, that the Most High was like them, down with that bullshit. But I will reprove thee and set them, the Israelites, in order before thine eyes. Okay? So, the Most High, He will fight eventually for us. He's going to send His Son, Yahushua, to deliver the elect first and foremost. But in the kingdom, we will be all righteous, and we're going to have these heathens, okay, under us in captivity. And we're going to do some damage unto these Edomites. Now, Revelation chapter 13, verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So this is what we are waiting for. And patience, if I'm correct, goes into enduring, which goes into, suffering, if I'm correct. So we are actually suffering because we have to be patient before, before we can put our hands on these Edomites, the ones that did this to us, okay, that had us in this hardcore slavery. Now, to read on, it says, there have been several strong hints this year that an apology was in the making, and the majority of MPs have called on the cabinet to do so. In addition, Prime Minister Mark Rutte said during a short official visit to the former Dutch colony of Suriname in September that the time is right for recognition. In 2023, it will be 115 years since Dutch legislation to abolish slavery was actually enacted. And these Dutch devils, they, prolonged the slavery 10 years extra. Okay? This, the Prime Minister said, meant recognition of the horrific suffering inflicted on those who were enslaved, recognition of the struggle and resistance that there was, and, of course, recognition of the social impact of the period on slavery on the present day, Rutte said. Despite pressure from two of the coalition parties, Rutte has always refused. Rutte, the Prime Minister, has always refused to apologize for the Dutch role in slavery, saying it would not be appropriate. Devils. However, in June, broadcaster NOS said that the government would make a formal apology in the autumn. Let me see. Yeah, the article has a few more sentences. I'm just going to read the whole article. It says, banks. The Dutch Central Bank, ABN AMRO Bank, and the cities of Rotterdam, Utrecht, and Amsterdam have all apologized for their role in slavery within the past few years. Slavery was finally abolished in the former colonies of Suriname and the Dutch Antilles on July the 1st, 1863. Slavery in the Netherlands, what you need to know. However, slaves in Suriname were only fully freed in 1873, 10 years later, you see, since the law stipulated that there was to be a mandatory 10-year transition period. Owners were also paid compensation of 300 guilders for every enslaved person they released. At its height in the 1770s, slavery generated over 10% of the gross domestic product of Holland, the richest of the 7 Dutch provinces which made up the Republic, according to the social history researchers. The income from the tobacco trade, sugar processing, and shipbuilding was boosted by the use of slave labor used to grow crops on plantations, according to researchers at the International Institute for Social History. And there are even people claiming that slavery never happened. Okay. Other professions such as notaries and bankers also benefited from slavery. As a whole, slavery generated some 5.2% of the Netherlands GDP, just slightly less than a proportion generated by Rotterdam Port today. Okay, so anyway, they just want to come with an apology right now. Like, this is going to mean something, you know? Like, yeah, let's just apologize, you know, give these people something to focus their attention on. Meanwhile, they are still busy with their evil plans, you know, their evil agenda. Because soon, I saw a video. It was actually a TikTok video I saw that how do you say that? That soon, all the banks, you know, all the banks were going to the same money. What do you call it again? What is it called? Pin. It's called pin automat. You know, the ATM, the pin where you get your cash from. That it was all gonna go to the same device, and if there's one, you know, crash in the system, you won't be able to get cash anymore out of it. You know, so now everything is leading towards the digital money. Now, if everything is digital, you know, they want to be aware of everything that is being spent above the 100 euros, which means that you won't have any freedom, man. If you spend anything, you know, with your digital money, they can see every transaction that you have done. And if they can see that, they can also see wherever you have been, because now they can track your transaction. So all your freedom is gone, you know. If they decide that you don't cooperate with the system, they might put a limit, you know, upon your digital money, so that you now cannot spend your money outside of a mile of, let's say, a radius of, let's say, 2 kilometers from your home, or for example, like that, you know. So you won't be able to travel also. Okay, your things is just going to decline, man. Okay, so ultimately this is going to lead towards, you know, a cashless society. I believe in Nigeria, they are also busy with it right now, you know. Sweden, Norway. Okay, so this is going to lead into a cashless society, whereby everybody is going to be, you know, actually going toward that MOTB, man, that RFID chip. Okay, so anyway, going back to the point, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Like I said in the beginning, man, this apology is so nothing, you know, if we have to, you know, think about what is still to come for these devils, man, you know, which is 1,000 years of slavery, hardcore slavery, 2,000 times worse than what they did to us. You cannot even imagine that. Okay, so on that scale, we should already know how wordless this apology is with a 200 million budget. Okay, so with that, I hope this video was edifying, straight to the point. I'm going to give all praises and the highest honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makakadash. I want to give double honor to my elder apostles and teachers of Great Millstone, and peace and salutation to hopeful elect. May the election be upon your households. Shalom.